Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to share with you a fascinating book that I've loosely translated as The Wisdom of Wolves. Unlike the philosophy, biography, or psychology books we usually pick up, books all about people, this one focuses on a very special subject: wolves. As you read it, you'll be surprised to discover that the dark, violent image pop culture often paints of wolves isn't the whole story. In reality, they're creatures of the wild with simple but powerful lives, full of deep bonds, compassion, and strong principles. From them, we can learn so much about living well, raising children, communicating, and even leading others. In our busy, stressful city lives turned upside down by constant noise and uncertainty, Mother Nature's wisdom might just soothe our souls and inspire us. The author, Ellen Doherty Towery, used to be a high-powered lawyer until one day, in the middle of a heated courtroom battle, she wondered, why am I spending my days dealing with trickery and endless arguments? Is this really what life is about? That question led her to give up her dream career and become an intern at a wolf sanctuary in Indiana. From there, she embarked on a challenging journey into the wilds of Minnesota, living up close with wolves and gathering priceless experiences. In The Wisdom of Wolves, Towery weaves together wolf stories and the life lessons she learned from them, hoping to offer readers a gift from nature, one that reflects what's in our own souls. She wants us to hear more than the wolf's howl echoing across the prairie. She wants us to ask, what can I learn from these wild friends of the forest? So let's dive in and explore today's topic. Part 1. Learning to nurture family love and raise children from wolves. Have you ever wondered why, out of all the animal species, dogs became our closest companions? Archaeological and genetic studies show that between 15,000 and 40,000 years ago, humans chose to tame wolves rather than apes or monkeys, even though those animals are much more intelligent on paper. It wasn't just about smarts. Wolves have emotional intelligence, and above all, they're deeply loving creatures that put family and community before themselves. Over thousands of years of domestication, the wolves we favored evolved into the dogs we know today. The author once watched a wolf pack going about its day, and she noticed such harmony, relaxation, and affection among them. When they weren't hunting, the wolf pups would romp around playing with their parents, siblings, even aunts and uncles. And no matter how busy they were, the adult wolves always made time for the little ones, playing gently, even letting the pups win on purpose so they'd feel confident and happy. To me, that mirrors the advice I've read in parenting books. Even the busiest dad can be a great father simply by playing with his child. Play is the best way to inspire and build trust in kids. This wolf-style parenting, raising young with love and close attention, is something many of us still struggle to do. What's even more remarkable is that it's not just the parents caring for the pups, it's the whole pack. Growing up surrounded by caring, energetic community members creates wolves that are strong yet tender, compassionate yet principled. Wolves truly understand what love means. They'll even risk their lives for their family. There's a moving story from a pack in Lamar Valley. One evening, a grown female wolf named Molly was ambushed by a rival group. Surrounded and in grave danger, a young 2-year-old female wolf sprang into action. Knowing she was the swiftest in the pack and familiar with every nook of the valley, she darted into the attackers, distracting them long enough for Molly and the rest of the pack to escape. In the end, both wolves returned home, safe and sound. That's how wolves show unity and self-sacrifice. In more brutal situations, some wolves have literally given their bodies to shield others, remaining forever in their birthplace. These acts aren't just survival instinct. They're proof of deep devotion and noble sacrifice within the wolf family. Wolves live together in mutual respect and connection, thanks largely to consistent, clear rules taught by every pack member. The author also observed a pack moving into a forest of towering pines. Over 10 adult wolves marched in strict order, but one little pup was too busy playing, falling behind, sniffing around, out of sync with the group. For the first time, no adult said a word. The whole pack stopped and waited. The pup kept playing. They waited again. But on the third pause, When the pups still didn't catch on, all the adults silently turned their backs and walked away. The frightened pups scrambled to catch up, and from then on, it never held the pack back again. That quiet, firm lesson stuck with me. In many human families, parents don't always present a united front in parenting. One might be strict, the other lenient. Grandparents may secretly spoil the grandkids against set rules. That inconsistency creates loopholes kids will exploit. If one person says no, they'll just ask someone else. Clearly, humans could learn to act as a single, consistent unit, just like wolves. Firmness and unity in parenting speak louder than orders or scolding. Consistency shows children what's expected. Wolves also amaze us with their daily bonding rituals. Every day, from the elders to the pups, they groom each other's fur, bask in the sun, and play together. These simple acts are a special love language, reinforcing trust and sending love through touch. And those iconic scenes of wolves howling together on a moonlit peak, that isn't some spooky ritual. It's a sacred ceremony of family unity, voices united in body and spirit. These rituals are the invisible threads that keep the pack close and caring. In contrast, many modern human families are losing the power of ritual. Unlike wolves who engage in daily caring ceremonies, people today often just exchange hurried text messages. A 2022 Google study found that 80% of parent-child conversations end within 3 minutes, and usually focus on logistical questions like, did you pay your tuition? Or what grades did you get? Deeper bonding rituals like reading a bedtime story together or spending 10 uninterrupted minutes listening to each other rarely happen. As a result, many families under one roof feel emotionally distant. Even holidays, once rich with customs to strengthen family and community ties, like cleaning the house, wrapping traditional cakes, lighting ancestor altars, or bringing gifts to relatives, have become burdensome chores or social performances. According to a 2023 study by the Hanoi Institute of Sociology, 65% of young people now feel Tet, Vietnamese Lunar New Year, is a stressor. They'd rather be with close family than running around exchanging formal greetings with bosses or business partners. If we could learn from wolves and create heartfelt rituals, everything would change. You don't have to host a massive Tet celebration out of obligation. Instead, start with a single meaningful evening. Everyone gathers around the table talking about the past year's memories, fully present, without judgment, without snapping endless photos of food or fighting for the best background for social media. Simply share a meal and live the moment with loved ones. Research shows families who eat dinner together at least 4 times a week have a 30% lower divorce rate, and their kids have 40% fewer mental health issues. So let's sit down together. Savor each bite cooked by a caring hand, feel the love baked into every dish, and recognize that we are loved, nourished, and complete. From there, genuine gratitude will rise in your heart, a tender, enduring emotion that can nurture every relationship. That's the true power of ritual. Simple, sincere, consistent acts that reach our deepest emotions and remind us to love and connect. As the movie says, when life gives you lemons, happiness isn't in the stuff you own, but in the moments you share. Part 2, Learning Leadership Skills from Wolves. Let's talk about what wolves can teach us about leadership. We used to think that animals fight for the top spot just to get mates, but that idea mostly comes from watching wolves in zoos. When wolves are cramped in small spaces with limited resources, they get aggressive and form a rigid hierarchy, sort of like big fish eat little fish. That's not how wolves really live in the wild. Out there, the strongest wolves usually act as pathfinders, taking on the hardest work so the pack leader can conserve energy. In a wolf pack, leadership isn't held by just one wolf. It's shared by a loyal, experienced mated pair who both care deeply for the group. And when big decisions are made, the pack usually follows the lead of the female. Why? Female wolves tend to be calm and decisive. They solve problems without the drive to dominate, and they show compassion. It's no surprise that wolves often get along better with women. They share similar qualities. To earn the pack's trust and respect, a wolf must show 2 key traits: courage and compassion. True courage means having the wisdom to know when to push forward and when to let go, all for the good of the pack. Once, a pack chased a deer right to the edge of a cliff. The deer taunted them, ready to jump off. If the wolves had been reckless, they would have charged on and risked falling to their deaths. But the female leader instantly signaled them to stop the hunt, knowing she had to protect the whole pack. That decision shows her subtle leadership, always putting the group's safety first. Compassion, too, is at the heart of a wolf leader's strength, and it shows up in 3 ways. First, toward pack members. Take the story of Wolf 21, the pack's alpha male. After a successful hunt, he always lets the others eat first while he rests. Because of that generosity, every wolf respected and adored him. Second, in conflict. When disagreements happen, the leader doesn't bully or use force. Instead, he listens, understands, and calms things down with emotional intelligence. A wolf leader rarely kills a defeated rival. If the other wolf admits defeat, the leader lets it go. For wolves, winning isn't about elimination, it's about restoring balance and order. That reputation for fairness builds real prestige. The author shares her own leadership lesson from Yellowstone. When she first started guiding tours, she'd ask, "Where do you want to go?" And her group would devolve into chaotic back and forth. Then she switched tactics. She confidently presented a route she knew well and explained why it was best. "I'm the expert," she told them. From then on, people trusted her, listened to her advice, and enjoyed smoother tours. That's the leadership lesson she learned from the wolf pack. You don't rely on power, you earn trust by being confident, brave, and generous. Part 3, learning to live fully in the present from wolves. What does it really mean to live well in the moment? Wolves can teach us plenty about that. First, wolves always communicate clearly. Researchers have identified around 21 distinct types of wolf howls, but more importantly, every signal they send is simple and direct. In contrast, we humans often get tangled up in our own words. Our language is so complex that we struggle to say exactly what we mean. And when we do speak, more often than not, we're airing frustrations, blaming others, or putting our ego first. But wolves, if they're happy, they howl a happy howl. If they're upset, they make a different call. They don't hedge with "well, sort of," or "maybe." That clarity is the key to staying true to the present and honest about what we feel. Second, wolves always know when they've had enough. They hunt just what they need and never slaughter for no reason. They use every resource wisely, including forming smart partnerships with other species. Take their relationship with ravens. Ravens can spot danger from high in the sky, warn wolves about poisonous carcasses, and when a thick hide is too tough for the crow to break, it calls the wolves in. Then, rather than gorging themselves and leaving scraps, wolves eat side by side with ravens, turning a simple coexistence into a genuine friendship. The author once watched a wolf stand by a raven's body for a long, sad moment, carry it to a frozen river, try to bury it there, realize the ice was too thin, then find a snowdrift to dig a proper grave. That's loyalty and care in action. Some people think wolves are ruthless predators that slaughter sheep for sport, but that's a half-truth. The author spoke with an American shepherd who lost sheep to wolves. He didn't curse the wolves. He blamed himself for not securing the flock. When wolves hunt deer in the wild, they take just one animal to feed the pack, but in a pen, their hunting instinct kicks in, and they may kill more sheep than they need, leaving behind the extra carcasses. A clever shepherd solved that by building an electric fence. The wolves get a little jolt when they touch it and learn to stay outside. Before long, they even chase off other wolves approaching the pen, accidentally becoming protectors of the flock. Wolves aren't greedy, they just follow their nature. And if we manage our resources wisely, wolves and humans can share the land peacefully. Third, wolves don't let worry steal their present. Towery once had a flight canceled because of a volcanic eruption, wrecking 6 months of plans. She was angry and disappointed until she asked herself, what would I do if I were a wolf? She remembered how, after a failed hunt, wolves don't panic. They rest, ground themselves, then try again. That thought freed her from her own frustration. If a wolf can't catch a meal, it doesn't spiral. It simply moves on. So she let go of her upset, stayed calm, and focused on writing her book at home. Reading about wolves reminds me that even with our advanced brains, we sometimes lock ourselves in a prison of overthinking. Wolves live by the simple laws of survival. They don't cling to failure. They fight with all their might, but don't give up. They love their family and community with pure instincts, and they stay rooted in the moment like tree roots in the earth. In our lives, misunderstandings, criticism, or setbacks are unavoidable. When you feel overwhelmed, just ask yourself, what would a wolf do? You won't find wolves stewing in anxiety or wallowing in regret. They simply live with joy and calm right now, giving their best effort and moving forward with love. That, I believe, is the most precious lesson wolves can teach us, the beauty of living purely in the present. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who needs it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for new videos each week. Wishing you peace and joy on your own journey. See you next time.